Okay. Okay. This is about to get a little weird, but before you click off, give it a second. I'm trying to get somewhere, right? In the jungle, right? There's this parasitic fungi called cordyceps, right? Um, what it does is, it releases the spores in the air, right? And all over the jungle floor. And if it gets on an insect, like a spider or like ants, right? Um, what it can do is it actually starts growing inside of you, right? And it takes over. It releases um, some type of hormone into your brain, and you become a zombie ant, which is crazy, right? Then after you become a zombie ant, you start looking for the right spot. You start climbing to get to where there's more sunlight, and once the sunlight with the right temperature, um, the right amount of moisture, then he makes it to where like it starts growing, and it literally grows outside of the body and killing the ant. Right now, the issue is once that starts growing out, then he gets more spores. And then he gets more ants, and the process starts all over again, right? You might be wondering why the fuck is he saying all this, right? Well, here's the interesting part. When the ants, or the worker ants, when an ant is infected, right, and the ant goes back to the colony and tries to go inside the colony entrance, there's two guard ants outside of the colony entrance, and they already know as soon as they see the ant, even though the ant could look normally completely okay. The guards say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold up." They grab the ant and they go far away from the colony entrance, right? Far away. And then what they do is, they kill the ant and then they kill themselves, right? Now, why am I saying all this? It's because think about this small, little, tiny, minute animals that we think have no consciousness. What they're doing is they're literally sacrificing themselves, right? Sacrificing themselves for the well-being and the progression and the growth of the colony, right? For the survival of the species, right? Okay. So that's my first point, right? Now, we see other examples of this kind of behavior in in nature, right? So another example, Japanese bees, right? Japanese bees, they they work together amazingly. So for example, hornets, right? They start, they get the scent of the honey, and they get attracted to the to where the honey is, right? And then all the bees are, of course, um, inside the their enclosure where they keep all the bees. And when the hornet approaches, right, waiting outside for the bees come out, wants to kill them, right? Instead of the bees attacking outside and losing those battle with the hornet outside because they're way bigger, right? So like what, six, no, maybe 4 or 5 times bigger than the bee, right? So instead, they actually attract the hornet inside the nest, right? Once the hornet goes inside the nest, then at the right moment, one or two bees, go for the attack and they sacrifice themselves, but then all the bees come and surround the hornet. And what they do is, the bee can actually survive, 2 degrees higher temperature than the hornet. So, they basically cook it. While the hornet is, basically, you know, um, trying to fight, by them covering the whole body, it's, it's essentially, cooking it to death. And by, they can actually do that, um, that type of behavior to protect the nest, right? Because they're sacrificing themselves and so smart. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, um, this type of behaviors, it's amazing to see in nature, right? But it's sad, at least the way that I see it is like, these animals are sacrificing themselves, for the very, for the growth of the species, right? Survival. And us, the smartest, most sophisticated, the only animal that has this type of consciousness, right? And what do? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want to talk about nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction, right? I'm thinking about the Earth as our nest, as our colony, right? This is where we at. This is our home, right? And what are we doing to fighting against each other? We have nuclear weapons that can literally destroy and put an end to the whole Earth. Not even fucking animals do this. Like, not even animals do this, have this type of behavior, right? Do you think that that the ants would have some type of bomb inside their colony in case somebody comes and attack them? Something that could blow up any second and destroy themselves? Not even animals do that. I know this is a controversial topic, but I also feel that a lot of people share my sentiment on how I feel about this whole thing. I honestly, I think that no countries in the whole world should have any kind of nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction, something that could damage the whole Earth. Because the thing is, people don't understand. Yeah, let's say two countries that are far away from you are fighting, right? One of them, goes and drops a nuclear bomb. This type of shit, this affects the whole planet, and it creates um a dent in the universe, like a mark that is gonna be noticeable all over. Like, it's a very powerful thing to happen. So, as a matter of fact, like, I read somewhere that if a nuclear bomb is deployed, there's a chance that it could create like this massive toxic clouds, and it could rain for weeks, even months. And it would just damage so much in nature, like animals and like vegetation and plants, all these living organisms, right? And it's just sad that we still don't see what we're doing on the global level by having these things in our backyard, basically. Because I don't care, I know we have them in the U.S. I know a lot of countries have it, but it's something that we gotta put a stop to at some point. Like, it's just probably the dumbest thing that we've ever done, to keep these things, in case that we need to fight against each other. It's like, having a fight inside a house and fighting with grenades and having live grenades, like, as in a house. It's like, it makes no sense whatsoever. So, this is something that's, so in the higher levels, because of course governments and presidents control these things, right? And the United Nations and all these things. But, I can't wait for the day that we, see it as we see ourselves as a species all together as this human race, and start thinking, hey, why are we doing this, right? Like, this is counterproductive. Like, I'm sure that if aliens were looking at us, they'd be seeing like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, they have some kids are good on one side of the world, on the other side of the world kids are starving. Like, what is this, right? They have weapons that could destroy their whole home in an instant. Like, why would they do that, right? So I'm thinking aliens probably think we're wild as hell. Maybe that's why they're not approaching. But um crazy. Excuse me. But yeah, guys, I want to keep the video shorter today, but I wanted to, talk about something impactful, right? I know it's not something that we could literally affect on a personal basis, right? Because it's not like I can go and march for weapons of mass destruction and affect anything, right? This is something that's handled on the higher levels. But we gotta start talking about it at some point, right? And it starts with us. So I'm sure that maybe nothing might happen right now in my lifetime, but like, I'm talking for the kids that are coming later, for my answer, for the people, the legacies that we're leaving for the people that are coming after us, our kids, the kids of our kids, right? So we gotta be responsible, right? But that's it, guys. I want to keep it nice and short, under 10 minutes. Your boy
Viva Mexico,
Fernando, Chosen,
Cubano,
New Earth,
Dominicano, all the
much
bloods that I
love.
know. Driving Benzes with no benefits. Not bad, huh? For some immigrants, build your fences. We digging tunnels. Can't you see we getting money up under you?